Welcome to Don't You Two Read, a podcast where two sisters talk about all things books.
We're just two girls who found ourselves texting about books on a daily basis and thought, why not turn on a mic?
We'll be talking about our recent reads, a weekly bookish topic, and what we're looking forward to reading next.
So grab a cup of coffee and maybe even a snack and be prepared to take down your TBR and add a lot to it as we talk all things books.
I'm Hilary, a mom in Oklahoma, and I am fully embracing spooky season.
And I'm Hannah, a stay-at-home mom in Texas who is finally having fall weather.
This is episode 14 of season 1, and we are so happy that you're here. Today, we are doing all the spooky recommendations for your Halloween season, and I personally am very excited about this. But before that, Hannah, how has your reading week been?
It's been a roller coaster, but mostly it's been pretty good. The book I'm currently reading, I am really, really liking it. So here's hoping that it continues going well for me. Yeah, how is yours going?
It's been pretty good. So I read a thriller, and I mean, I don't know how long it's been taking me to read. It's been taking me a while. My story graph says it takes me like 6 days to finish a book, which I don't feel like that's entirely accurate because I don't log them perfectly on there. And then, but I also usually read more than one book at a time. So I think if I focus solely on one, it would be a little bit quicker. But this book that I read a thriller, which I will talk about not today, but maybe next week when we get back into our a little bit normal of a swing. But I read it like in 2 days. Like I flew through it. Like, and it was crazy because I was reading in the pickup line, and I mean sometimes I'll be in that pickup line for an hour or more, and usually I'm like, I'm tired. I just want to be in bed. I'm just, you just get so tired just sitting there. But I mean, reading that thriller, I was literally like just tap, 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 tap. And by the time I looked up, I was like, oh my gosh, like school's getting out. So that, I don't know. I think maybe it's just the season that I'm in. Like my attention span is short
Yeah.
or small, I guess. So it's just, and I think I give myself a hard time for that because I'm like, I want to read these like deep novels sometimes. Like I desire it, but then my brain is like, no, girl, you're not, you need the shallow sometimes.
Me, I'm like, I live in the shallows. I thrive in the shallows.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I read like smarter, if that makes
No.
sense. I give myself a hard time because I'm like, am I just dumb?
I was just talking to somebody about this, about like classics, and I'm like, can I do it? Sure. But A, it's going to take me a long time, and B, I would not call that thriving for me. Like, it feels like school to me, and that's okay sometimes. It's not bad. But, if you have a literary taste, then standing ovation. I
Yeah.
just
And
do
it's
not.
crazy because I never really talk about my education to people. Like, I just don't feel the need to be like, and then I got this degree, and then I have this. Like, who cares? No one cares about your degrees. But I don't think I'm a dumb person. Like, when I look at like the facts, I don't think I'm a dumb person, but I'm like, I think sometimes I just like dumb stuff. But anyway, it's fine.
I'm like that in every area of my life.
Yeah,
Like,
Survivor.
yeah, like Josh is like, he's like, what? But this was when we were dating. He's like, I want to take you somewhere nice. Like, I want you to pick wherever you want to go. Like, where do you want to go for dinner? I was like, I want to go to Jack in the Box. And he's like, no, like, pick
That's
somewhere
how I am
nice.
too.
I'm
When
like,
they're
that's
like,
what I
Hillary,
want.
what's your favorite meal so we can take you for your birthday? I'm like, I don't know. I like Chick-fil-A. And everyone's
Yeah.
like, that's just so ridiculous. And I'm like, why? My satisfaction with Chick-fil-A is high. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I
Like,
just like I like trash.
I know, like, let me have a
I
good
like trash,
time.
okay? Okay. Oh, so I had to talk about this. I know we haven't, Hannah and I talked about it. Like, I think we're going to be changing our format a little bit up in the future, but like something I will be adding. I don't know if I'll do it every time or whenever I have something, but will be like a product that I have been enjoying. And I felt like I had to say it today because we're talking about spooky reads. And I was like, no, I have to do it because this is airing. I want to say this is September 30th. So let me double check. Yes, September 30th. So to me, spooky season is like October. So, I mean, we're here. So I had to talk about it right now. My mother-in-law found these for me. I've been asking her to find, like, if she saw them, to get them. Hannah, you'll love this. They are here. And I already ripped a huge hole in it. The Harry Potter Kisses.
What?
Have you seen these?
No.
Okay.
I
They
need to
are
get
like,
them.
I know.
Okay.
They're just plain kisses. I wish they were like the almond ones because those are my favorite. But that's okay. They're like little kisses. Look, like
That's so
different colors.
cute.
They're kind of like sorting hats because like
Mm.
this one has Hufflepuff on the bottom, Gryffindor. Yeah, here's Slytherin.
Yes, I
Like,
see HEB has it. I'm gonna add that
yeah, they're
because
like little sorting hats. And then this one, some of them have quotes, like the Dove chocolates that have the quotes. But
mm,
this one says, "You're a wizard, Harry." And then the other one I got today said, "It's Leviosa, not Leviosa." Like they have
that's
little
so
quotes. And I was
cute.
like, I know they're just Hershey's Kisses. Like, I
Have
feel like
you
that's what else.
opened one
Yeah.
and it has the markings of the face?
Um,
The picture shows on HEB's website and it has their face. And
in the kiss.
yeah, I'm like, open it up, open it up.
I feel like I'm on Willy Wonka. like, I'm like, let me see if this is the one. No, I don't see anything on. I just
What
see
is,
a plain
okay, let me show
kiss.
you a picture.
No, someone made that with their nail or something.
Gross.
Look, it's just a kiss on the inside.
Okay,
But
I want that so I can put it in my child's lunchbox.
that's what I got him for. It
Yeah,
says right here, look, a great deal of bravery.
that's so
Anyway,
cute.
they're the cutest things. They're like little sorting hats. And I was like, why haven't they done this before? Because they're the perfect shape for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother-in-law actually got us 2 bags.
Was cute.
Sorry, I'm eating the chocolate right now.
You're like, this is now an ASMR.
Sorry. She got me 2 bags. It was like one for Noelle and one for you. But
Oh,
it was
cute.
very nice of her. But anyway, that's my product recommendation. They are so cute. And if you like Harry Potter, like the level of enjoyment, it improved my day. Just like a little tiny thing like that. So yeah, that's it. I
I
thought they're
love
so
it.
cute.
They are cute. I added to my cart.
Okay, so let's talk about spooky reads. Hannah and I, okay, so what happened? Here's what happened is we made a list. So whenever we were doing like our fall recommendations, we made this list and it ended up being like 50 books or something like outrageous. Way like and it's funny because our fall recommendation episode was like an hour long already. So we had to split it up into two. So we did a fall recommendations and then like a spooky recommendation just to differentiate them a little bit. But I don't know. I feel like they're very similar. I feel like they overlap. It's like a Venn diagram. You'd have them overlap quite a
Yeah.
bit,
Mm-hmm.
but these are a little bit more specific to
Like
Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe like a little bit scarier. So not all of them, not all of them by any means, but we have some recommendations like that, or I do. I
Yeah.
have some recommendations like that. So I guess I have a lot. So I know Hannah doesn't have quite as many, but I think together we have
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit. So, okay, so we're not going to talk about it in depth. Obviously, like we said, Harry Potter is always going to be a Halloween recommendation from us. It's a need. You have to do it. Our sister right now is reading Harry Potter for the first time, like through the
Yeah.
whole series, and it's like bringing me so much joy just hearing her go through it. So if you haven't done it, go ahead, do it, and that's it.
The early, and me here I go more. The early books they all have Halloween scenes. I know for a fact the first four do. So
Yeah, so it's a good time to
like a
start that.
whole Halloween chapter. So
And then you can get your
yes.
Hershey's Kisses and have a whole experience. Okay, but that's it. That's all we have for fantasy. That's all we're going to say about Harry Potter. But now we have romance.
Okay, so for this category, we have the Ex Hex and the Kiss Curse. These are by Erin Sterling. These two, it's like book one, book two. I think, isn't she making a third one? That
Yeah,
is
it's coming out
Christmas.
I think in October. But yeah,
So
it is.
these
Yeah.
so these two, the XX and the Kiss Curse, they're book one and two. They are like an interconnected series. You can read them as standalone if you want to. Okay, so for these two, they're set in the town of Graves Glen in Georgia. It is very small town. It does feel like Gilmore Girls. There is magic, there's ley lines, and I know there's a fall festival, there's romance, and I do remember there's a talking cat. So I remember that book one was not my favorite. The plot for me was not totally there, but I will say the magical, like spooky vibes are definitely there. I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, but I still felt like if you're looking for that spooky vibe, like that Halloween feeling, then I think it gave me that. Book two, I really liked a lot, and I thought book two was a much improvement to the first. And so yeah, I mean, you can read both. If you pick up any of them, I really liked book two. But yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Ex Hex was really cute. I still think it's worth reading. Like if you're looking for
Yeah,
something just based on vibes, like I thought it was really cute and like the vibes were 10 out of 10. Like Hannah said, the
yeah.
plot was like it was okay. But honestly, if you're looking for like a holiday read, I think that one was really like really cute about all the town. I remember that.
Mhm.
And then but yeah, I thought Kiss Curse was like plot wise better.
Mhm.
And I actually really enjoyed it a lot.
And it had the spooky vibes too. Like I just felt like it had the vibe still, but then it had the plot too. So I
But these are
liked,
rom-coms. So
yeah,
they're not scary at all,
yeah.
like very light in the theme. And so I'm excited. Yes, like Hannah said, the third one's coming out. I have that one on hold. I'm excited to get to that one. We'll see how that one is. Okay, my next, I have two recommendations for romance. Actually, I'm surprised. I surprised myself. The first one is Ramon y Julieta by Alana Albertson. This is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, but Mexican. So it's about the Day of the Dead, like a Day of the Dead festival. And you know what's funny is I rated this, I think, I don't remember. I read it quite a while ago, but like
Not
3 stars maybe,
Yeah.
maybe three. Like I thought I was like, oh, it's fine. But like I think about that book all the time. So that's what's hard. Like Hannah and I have talked about this. Like there's some we eventually will get into ratings about how we rate things, but it's a complicated topic for us because I'm trying to be more consistent in my ratings now because when I think about this book, I'm like I didn't rate it 5 stars, but like the vibes were all there and I still think about it. So I don't think it was like the best book ever written by any means.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that at all.
Mhm.
But like I remember the festival where they met in this book. I remember their families. I remember like all the Mexican food that they ate, the Day of the Dead. Like I remember all that stuff. I think it was just the plot again, like the Ex Hex wasn't the strongest, but it was a cool like Mexican representation of, like
Yeah.
not Halloween, but basically Halloween, Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
I just thought it was cool. And so it was like two competing family or like two rivals in restaurants. And so
Mhm.
instead of like a kingdom, that's why we're saying Romeo and Juliet. I
Mhm.
thought it was really cute. And I think it's worth reading if you are looking for something a little bit different, or I think it's kind of not as well known. I haven't seen it as much.
Mhm.
But yeah. Oh, and the next one, sorry, is Angelika Frankenstein Makes Her Match by Sally Thorne. This one's weird. So if you read this one, don't judge me. But it's funny because I have not read the original Frankenstein at all. But I mean, like this, I know the general idea. Frankenstein it's a weird book, very
Mhm.
weird.
Me,
Like,
I'm 20% in that book and it is very
okay,
weird.
so you can answer. Is it about like
Probably
cutting
not.
up Is it about like cutting up bodies and putting them together to make the perfect like specimen?
I think so. I haven't gotten that far yet, like far enough to where he's done that. But yes, like he's looking for like companionship and he's lonely. And so, yeah.
Okay, so that's what this book is about, but it's a romance. And I mean,
Uh,
we get a first chapter. So, yes, she and her brother go through graves and like find these corpses, and they're like, well, this is a good, like, oh, I like these arms. We need
a
this arm
real
for,
corpse?
yes, a real
That's
corpse.
gross.
And they're like, I like this, I like this. And they're making their little person, and then they do the electricity and zap it into life.
She
So
and
it's
her
like,
brother,
yeah, they do. They're creating a person like Frankenstein.
they're creating a man.
Yeah, like a person, like Frankenstein. Well, yeah,
Yes,
Frankenstein's a
yeah, okay.
monster,
No,
but
it's not. No, it's Frankenstein's monster.
oh,
Get it
but they're making
right.
a monster. You know what I mean? This is making a yeah, anyway, it's very weird. This book was like exactly, you can hear me talking about it. It was weird.
It sounds
However,
gross.
yeah, no, the first chapter, I will say the first chapter is the goriest because it's talking about, yes, like grave digging, basically. And so
Gross.
it's like in the grave looking for the perfect corpse to bring back to life. It's weird. After that,
Mm-mm.
it's not like that. But I actually did enjoy the book, but it was weird. That's what I said. Don't judge me too harshly. But it's a
Me.
perfect book if you want. Hannah's reading Frankenstein, so I don't know why she's judging Angelika. Frankenstein
I
mixed her
don't
match.
because I
But
haven't gotten to that gross part apparently, okay? I'm
yeah, it's
like
coming.
I'm like, ew, that is disgusting. What is this?
You're like, DNF. I know you.
Uh,
Anyway, it was, and Sally Thorne wrote The Hating Game. So just, it was totally different than The Hating Game. But
mhm.
anyway, I'm like, just forget it. Don't read it. Don't.
But for Halloween though, it fits. I say it
Yeah, like it
works.
wasn't a 5 star, but I still liked it. I was surprised that I liked it.
Okay. It looks like the next category we have is cozy. So we have, okay, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandanna. And we both read this book. So I'll say my thoughts first and then Hilary can jump in. This one is open door. I don't remember it being like super, I don't remember it being,
I would be hesitant to even call it that. I feel
okay,
like it was like, I mean, I guess
like vague.
maybe yes, like
Yeah, okay.
maybe
Low,
like a page.
low
Like I would not.
spice.
Yes, and it's not like throughout the book there are like
Yeah.
graphic things. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Someone's gonna read it and be like, "How dare you?"
I don't remember. I don't remember
That's
much
like them
either.
talking down to us.
Okay. So this is like a paranormal fantasy romance, but also I think this is more not romance. I would say this is more of like a found family and
Yes,
like fun.
100%.
Okay,
And
witchy.
paranormal is on the low side, I think, too.
Yes. Okay, so there's like big time witchy moments and then magic. So you have the magical elements, which I loved. And yeah, I definitely there is like I would say a sprinkle of romance, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Most,
that's like definitely like plot C or
yeah.
D.
Um, so most of this is like the found family aspect. Because she's like a Mary Poppins to me. Like that's how I
Yeah, that's a good description.
she comes to be like there's like three little witches, I believe, and she's like their little nanny type. Like they hire her, I think, to be like something like that. That's what I remember.
Yeah, yes. She comes and she has to help them control their magic.
Yes,
I think
yes.
like to live a normal life and not let everyone know that they
They
have
have
powers.
powers. Jinx.
I'll read my good read review of this book. I read
Okay.
it a couple years ago. It says, imagine you're wrapped in a blanket and sitting by the fireplace in a huge, cozy old chair. You're sipping something warm and the room is full of twinkle lights. That's this book.
Did you rate it 5 stars?
Yeah, I love this. Like,
Me too.
love this book. I think, like, it is not scary at all, just so you know. Not scary. It's strong and found family. Like, she has a lot of
Hmm.
friends. Like, she's very lonely when she starts out, doesn't really have a lot of connection. And so she meets all these random people that she maybe wouldn't be friends with normally.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you just feel, I think that's the, like that Hannah said, there's a tiny bit of romance, but it's not, I feel like that's so low on the,
And there's a mystery. Like it's like there's a mystery plot in there too. So, yeah, I really like this one a lot. I feel like solid about recommending this because I really liked it. And you did too. So, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's see.
Okay, the next book, this is one I read in anticipation of this spooky guide. And this was on my list actually for last year, and the hold was so long, and now I think it's more reasonable. It is called In the Company of Witches by Auralee Wallace. It's a really cute cover. It has like a little cat that is like screeching. I don't know what else to say. How to call it. Like, what is it called when cats get scared and they're like,
I don't know. I know exactly what you're talking about.
like
They get
this?
puffy. Yeah. They
Yeah, it's
arch
right
their
here.
back.
Yeah. And it's cute. It has like a, it's like a Victorian manor with a black cat. And I don't know, like it was like kind of cozy vibes of like this, I would call it like a cozy mystery. So this like really crotchety, mean guest at this bed and breakfast, she dies unexpectedly in there. Like that starts off with it. She's a pain and she dies. And people are like, man, like she was where, I mean, it sucks that she died here, but she was like, no one liked her at all. But then the inn owner gets accused. So they're like, well, you killed her. And so the inn owner's niece is like out to prove that her aunt did not do this. And she's like, well, what the heck happened? We have to figure out what happened here. So there's that. Like, there's a mystery going on like that. But this one is also a little bit like this niece has powers. She can see, no, can she see? She can talk to ghosts sometimes. So that's like the Halloween kind of element in it. Not scary, not really spooky. It has like a ghost exists in this book, but it's not scary at all. But you know what? It was surprising to me is like for a cozy mystery, this one actually had some depth. Like we know the main character has some issues because she's like, you can tell she has some trauma, and we later figure out why, like what she's going through in life and why she is the way she is. So I was surprised there was like some depth in there. So if you're looking for like a little bit of Halloween but with some depth, I thought this was a good one. It wasn't just like all
Mm-hmm.
frothy. So yeah.
Okay, now we're going to go to the mysteries and thrillers. So I will start us off with soft, soft mystery. This is like, I would put this in the cozy category, so it's a good transition. This is Phantom Pond by Juneau Black, and this is part of the Shady Hollow series. This is a short story novella, and I mean, you can read it in the order of the series, or you can just read it as standalone. It's super short. It's a short story. So this one specifically is set during Halloween. And so the woodland animals, it's like a whole little forest. They live in Shady Hollow, and on the night of Halloween, there's a little squirrel whose name happened to be Hannah, which I thought was funny. She goes missing and during trick or treating, and so the whole town is trying to figure out where she went. There's a mysterious like mythical creature who is known to live at Phantom Pond. And because it's a mythical place, it's not on any of their maps. So then they're trying to find, like where is this Phantom Pond? We have to find the missing squirrel. And so of course, as I was reading it, I was like, if this little baby squirrel dies, then I am out. But it's cozy. So this is not going to be like, yeah, you're not in for a bad time. I will say that. Yeah, I love it. That's it. I love it.
Cute. That sounds really cute. Okay. I'll talk about this next one. Wrong Place, Wrong Time by GIllian McAllister. Oh my gosh, you guys, this one is so good. This is I'm hesitant to call it a thriller. I want to say it's more of a mystery, like very mysterious book. This is about a
Mm-hmm.
mom who it's on Halloween night. She has spent, the evening at home with her husband, and then it's almost time for bed, and she's like up in her bedroom looking out the window because she knows her teenage son, is on his way home, ready, to come home for curfew. And so she looks out, and when she's looking out there, she sees her son commit a crime, a terrible crime. And I mean, it's like every mom's nightmare. And so, it's just an awful evening, obviously, for her. So she goes to sleep and she wakes up, and it's October 30th. And she's like, what the heck? I'm so confused. Like, Halloween already happened, and now it's October 30th. And so she's living through this day, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm so confused." She falls asleep, wakes up, it's October 29th. And so this just keeps happening. She's like going backwards in time. And so she eventually gets her bearings, and she tries to figure out, like, what is going on. First of all, is this possible? Is it in my mind? Is this real? And then, can I stop my son from committing this crime that he does later? Can I change the future? And anyway, I this book is like, I loved this book. I think it is so good, so mysterious. It kept me hooked. I did not think it was scary. That's why I don't want to call it like a thriller, but it kept me interested. And then like the themes of motherhood and being a wife, being a parent, being a woman who's working and trying to find, like, who am I in relation to all this. I thought she hit it like the nail on the head and all of that. And it was set like on Halloween, so that's why I had to bring it. And I think Hannah read this book too.
Yeah, I did. I was reading my review for it just now. I read this 2 years ago. I said I really loved it. It says I was reading it with my eyes bugged out for most of the last half. I did have some questions throughout, but I think that was the point. Overall, it was interesting, it held my attention, and it kept me reading. So I don't remember like details about it because I'm kind of like that with thrillers, especially when there's like a lot of twists and turns. I don't retain a whole lot of like the journey, but I do remember that I read it like in like 1 or 2 days and I really liked it.
Yeah, it's the perfect fall book, the perfect book for October for sure.
Hmm.
Okay, so basically the rest of this podcast will be me, Hilary, because we're going to slowly ease our way into real dark and crazy territory. So the next book, oh, this one's not, I don't think, okay, I didn't think it was that dark, but this is funny, so Hannah can chime in about her thoughts. The next book is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. This is a classic. It was written quite a long time ago. It's a locker room mystery. We have like 10 strangers who are invited to this island for this like elite party and experience, and they have no idea why they're there, but they're like, wow, I feel so important, until each one of them starts dying. Like one person's killed off, and then the other one's killed off, and the other one's killed off, and they don't know who's doing it, but they know it has to be somebody here on the island.
And they're all dying. Like there's a poem when they get there
Yeah,
about
it's very like
it's like creepy vibe
yes,
because you have
it
like
is
the
creepy.
10 little boys are walking and I don't know the poem, okay? But there's a whole poem and they're like, and one of them gets stabbed in the back. And so anyway, as these people are dying, they're dying in the way of this poem that's hanging on the in the living room. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it's funny because we're talking about it differently, because like we're saying the same story, and I'm like, and then someone got killed, and Hannah's like, and then someone got killed. But I thought this book was really good, and it was written quite a long time ago, and I was surprised because I was like, oh wow, this if you read this, you will be like, okay, she is the queen of our modern thriller, because
Mhm.
a lot of mysteries are based off of this concept, this structure.
Yeah.
Um, Anyway, it was very interesting.
Like it was timeless. But okay, all of my opinions are, you're gonna laugh and be like, they don't count. I did not read the book. I went to a theatrical play like a month ago.
Recently, yeah.
Yeah, of this based on this book. And apparently it was like they did it exactly like the book from what everyone around me was saying. And so all I'm gonna say is that, in school when you learn about like comedy and tragedy and blah blah blah, this is a tragedy in the sense that to me, it doesn't end well. So like if you're dealing with like a thriller or a disaster and it ends like, to me, satisfactory, like it may not be like a happily ever after, but I can like be okay. This was like a tragedy. It ended to me terribly. I think Josh, he loved it. I'm pretty sure that he was like, loved it, thought it was great. And I'm not saying it wasn't great. It was just like dark. I was like, I'm out.
Everyone in this book, they're all terrible people. All terrible.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, that's why I think I was like, meh, it's fine. And so, but that might be why Hannah didn't like it, because she doesn't like unlikable characters at all in a story. So, anyway, I thought that was interesting because Hannah, I haven't seen the play, but Hannah did. And you thought it was scary, right?
Yes, it was so creepy. They had creepy music, and that was the thing too. I told Josh, I'm like, if I read the book, I don't know that I would have been like super creeped out because reading, like, it's just a different experience for me, like reading versus like auditory and like
Yeah.
visual and everything at the same time. And so, yeah, there were like a lot of loud noises, there were strobe lights and like creepy music, and I was like, what am I sitting in right now? Because I saw the other Agatha Christie. What was that? The murder. Hold on. I literally have it from,
Styles, right?
yeah,
I was like, Harry Styles.
The Mysterious Affair at Styles by
Oh, okay.
Agatha. And that one was more like a Clue type of like situation, which I like, that was cozy. Cozy mystery. This was, yeah, I would say thriller,
Yeah,
not
for sure.
cozy.
Okay, so on that note, moving on, my other recommendation is Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. This is a retelling of And Then There Were None. I think this was written a year or two ago. It's the same plot line, except it's a family. We have a grandma. She's turning, I don't forget how old, but she's very old. And she invites all her family to her mansion on this island to celebrate her birthday. And she's like, I require you to be here. You need to come. And her birthday's on Halloween, I believe. So they all get there to the island to have birthday dinner for grandma. And then bad things start happening. One person after another start dying, and we don't know
Mm-mm.
who's doing it or what's going on, but we know there's a big family secret, and we don't know who did something wrong, but they all did something. Everyone has secrets. Same, Hannah's like shaking her head. She's like, no, no, no.
I'm like, if once wasn't enough, then now
Yeah,
you
it
get
is
two.
hugely atmospheric. Halloween, stormy, dark. This one is tense. Like, I believe there are some moments that are a little scary.
This review says, "Yikes! This thriller scared the crap out of me."
Yeah,
From
see,
from Beach and Bubbly Reads.
I told you. I'm telling you right now that we've gone into the dark end right now. It is very atmospheric. Like, you're reading it and you are like, in your mind, you can hear the thunder. And you're like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? That's what this book is. I'm telling you, I thought it was great, but if you know yourself. So that's an option. And then my last one for mystery thriller. This one, Hannah could read this one. I don't know if she's read it. This one's Killjoy by Holly Jackson. This is a novella. This is by the author who wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This is a prequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Have you read this?
Oh, no.
It's good. It's like I don't know if it's Halloween, but it's a costume party where they're invited to this murder mystery costume party. And that's it. Like, I think it's like 100 pages of that gang like
Wow.
going to this like little party. And there was like a little mystery, but like I don't think that like anyone died or anything. But it was just like this mystery that they're trying to solve for the night. And I thought it was really enjoyable. So I think you would like this one.
Mm.
And yes, I don't think you have to have read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but it is tied into that world. So you can start on this one or finish, on this one.
Mm-hmm. That makes
But
sense.
yeah, but a lot of people don't know about it. So I thought that would be a good one to look into. Okay, so I'm going to go over these quickly because this is like a genre I read, but it's not like my absolute favorite. But I did want to include them because some people, I don't know if anyone listening to this podcast likes scary books at all. I feel like everyone likes all the light books, but you never know. So these are the scary, that's the topic I have, or the header is scary. I'm looking at the time. Okay. The first one is Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. This is about a young lady, and I think she's freshly out of jail, I think, or rehab. It's rehab. So she's looking for a job, and she finds a job to be this nanny for like a 5-year-old boy for this
I'm
rich
like
family.
I'm out.
Already. she she's going to be a nanny. And so she's like, wow, this is so nice. It includes my own little house, a pool. She gets to know the other staff, like gardener or something, neighbor. She's having a great time. The boy is really sweet, draws all these pictures, like really cute. And then one day he draws a picture of someone dragging a body through the woods with his like crayons. And she's like, what the heck is this? This is so weird. And so as the time goes on, like his little kid crayon drawings become like darker and darker. And so she's like, what the heck is going on? This is such a sweet kid. Why is he drawing these things? Like, what is going on? And I want you to know, if you read this, you have to buy the paper copy. This book has drawings in it. Like it shows the little kid's drawings. Oh, so you can just look at them and see what they're talking about. I just thought that was like a really cool element to have in a story. So this book is creepy. It's creepy. Like we have the woods, we have like, I don't know what that noise is outside. I don't know, like definitely have that. So we're wondering, we have this mystery that we don't know, is this kid like a creepy kid or what? We have no idea what's going on, but we go along this journey. And also, this girl got out of rehab. So she's like, well, no one's going to believe me anyway because I've had issues in the past. So it's a good one. I will say, I included this one first because it was one of my favorites. But I will say, if you are looking for something like scary, but that you know it's going to end okay, I think this would be a good one for you. So it is kind of scary, but at the end, I mean, obviously, like it's a thriller, so some bad stuff does happen, but at the end, you're left like, okay, it's okay. Where like some thrillers, you're like, well, like it was all about everything bad, everything bad happened.
Yeah.
And this book was not like that. It ends up okay. So you can DM me if you're interested and want a little bit more spoiled if you're hesitant, but know yourself. It is creepy, but you'll be okay. Okay, so the next book I have, I'm just going to throw them all in together. So if you like books about ghosts, paranormal stuff, I will go up and say, I'm not against books about ghosts or like paranormal things. I've learned about myself, they're usually not my favorite. Like I said, I like the other one, the like that cozy one that like I'm like, oh, she can see ghosts.
Yeah, like a Casper ghost.
Yeah, like I'm fine with that. I don't know. I think it's whenever it's like trying to be scary because I'm like, I can deal with the like, this is funny, like this is a funny element, or this is like we're purposely trying to be like Halloween. So, like you said, Casper, or like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, who has like a talking cat. Like, we're just trying to be, I don't know, like festive, if that makes sense.
Do you mean
But
like
then,
a
like,
scary ghost? Like a
yeah, or
demon?
like, no, I don't have any books about demons in here. That would scare me. I know. That's probably just my upbringing. I'm like, no, that's where I draw the line is I don't do no demons or possessions. Yes, that either. I hate books like that. So I don't like that stuff like that. So I've learned I don't really like scary books about ghosts. Like one it is kind of scary. Like whenever they're trying to be scary about ghosts, they're not my favorite. And even if their books are like really well written, they're just and then I don't believe in ghosts either. So that's why I think I can get behind them being like silly, because I think it's just, I don't know, like I can enjoy that element. But they're like whenever the twist, I say in quotes because these authors are known for being like paranormal, are like, and then it really was a ghost. I'm like, oh, I just feel like sometimes it's like bad writing. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just me.
like
I
an
guess
easy out.
yeah, to be like, all that weirdness was just ghosts. I don't know. That's just my personal preference. That's me. I know some people genuinely enjoy like ghost stories and stuff. So that's why I wanted to include some that I've read and that may appeal to you. I have The Haunting of Maddie Clare by Simone St. James. Simone St. James in general, if you're looking for like well-written stories but that have a paranormal twist, she's a really good author, and she writes like mysteries and thrillers, but they have a paranormal twist. So that's why I've read that one, and I read The Sundown Motel. They were very well written. I liked that element, but they do have that supernatural element where that's just not my favorite thing for me. And I've discovered that about myself. If you like that twist to your like thriller and mysteries, I think they're well written. I think they're worth looking into. And then another book, I have a disclaimer. It says disclaimer on it. It's called The Drowning Kind by Jennifer McMahon. This book, I did not rate it well because I thought this book was genuinely scary to me. It was scary. It's about you can go and read the description. I don't want to get all into it and like try to sell you on it because I didn't rate it well, but it is like a full ghost story. It's dual timeline, so I thought it was well written. Dual timeline from the 1920s and current, and there's this pool, and it's scary because the like legend says that this pool in this house is haunted, and the girl is there to take over her family's house, and she's like trying to figure out what is going on in this home. So I did think it was scary. It is like supernatural elements. That's
I'm
it.
really, I'm really glad we're talking about this at 9 o'clock, right before I go to bed.
Well, I did say I don't think it's real. Like, I don't think I'm like, it's hocus pocus. That's why I struggle with it. So if you like it, you just have to know yourself what you like. And then the last book in the, like this kind of ghosty category, this one I did like. This one I thought he did well enough that I was like, I liked it. Okay. It was Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. So he's the same one that wrote that book Hannah liked. Was it The Only One Left?
Yeah, that one's good
So
too.
this was,
Good for spooky. Read that too.
yeah, this was a thriller. It did have a supernatural element in it. But I thought he did a good job without it being like the other ones are like, I'm trying to scare you. This one's like, I'm trying to write a thriller. So I did like it. I thought if you like stuff like you're looking for something a little bit spooky, I think Riley Sager is a good author, like Hannah said, for the fall. He's a good, like, quick chapters just
Mhm.
to get through it. So look into him. And then the last book in my category of scary, this one's a little different. This one is another one I read just the other day to talk about for this episode. This one's middle grade. So this is like, I don't know how old is middle grade. Um, we're
Like,
talking like 11, 12, 13, I think. This book is called The Night Gardener. It's by Jonathan Auxier. It is middle grade, so it is written for older children, but it is like adults can definitely read it. Taylor, it's funny because Taylor saw the cover of it and he's like, that looks kind of scary. And I'm like, yeah, it's for kids. He's like, that looks too scary for kids. But I was like, well, here's the thing. If your kids want to read dark stuff, like they want to read, like, oh, I want a spooky book. I think
mhm.
this would be a good one to give them. Older kids, not little kids, older kids, because it's clean. Like, there's no cussing, there's nothing graphic. It's not like I'm going to pee my pants scary. It's not none of that. But it is like, it is a little dark. So it's like a dark fairy tale. So it's funny because I think original fairy tales are very dark if you look and read them.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like that. Like it's these two kids, they're like without parents and they find this job at this mysterious house. And in the house, there's this family and they don't know like what's up with this family. Everyone's like very pale and very, like, very, very thin. And they're wondering what's like, why do these people look so unhealthy? What is going on in this house that makes them look so like muted in their color, in their demeanor? And then they find this tree, and this tree is like magical and it gives you wishes. And but then they're like, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And it's just kind of, it's dark. It's a dark book, but I thought it was good. Like I thought it was a good creepy book. Personally, I was never scared at all. Like I could read it at night. It did not bother me, especially because I knew it was for kids. I'm like, we're going to be fine. Like it's going to be fine. But I thought it was a well done book for older kids that if they want something, spooky but appropriate for that age. So I thought that was something to look into. All right, that's it for that. I wanted to include those, and I will say after this, like podcast, I think I've decided usually if things, because I told Taylor after there's another book, I'll probably talk about it later. I read another book for this podcast episode and I did not like it. And I was like, and I told Hannah I lost some like of my edge because I was reading books that I just did not like for this episode. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm done with ghosts. Like, I think ghosts have to be done well. And a lot of times they're just not done well to me. And I just think it's not for me.
For me, 100% no. Like anytime we're reading something creepy for book club, I'm like, if there are supernatural weirdness, like I
But
mean, you
but
already know.
mine wasn't a thriller. Mine was a romance.
Oh, no, but
And
okay,
it had
that one too though. Somebody did tell me that there was a creepy scene or something. I don't know. I was like, no, I don't care what it is. If there's like a supernatural creepy, I don't know, guys. I just
was it because it's scary?
when I get a chills, I'm done. Like I'm like, no. Mm-mm. And whenever I was reading The Only One Left by Riley Sager, there was a part where I thought it was going to go in that direction. I was like, I have invested this, like I'm really invested, and if you're about to do that to me, like I'm going to be mad. Throw
You're like, I'm gonna
hands.
go ape.
I'm going to go baboon. Um so yeah, no, I don't know exactly, because yeah, if it's a friendly ghost and if it's like, oh, like Hillary said, like if it's in a rom-com or like, I don't know, then that's fine. But if we're like a creepy ghost, no, me never, I will not participate.
I told Taylor, I was like, I'm done. I'm done with ghosts. He's like, are you scared? I'm like, no, I just think it is so stupid. Like, I struggled. Like, at first
I'll
it was like,
admit it, I'm scared.
well, this one wasn't supposed to be scary. It was fine. I was like, okay, I can deal with this. And then they're like, and then we light the candles and put the sand in a circle. And I was like, I'm done. This is just foolishness.
No, mom and dad got me too early. I'm like, nah, mm-mm.
Yeah, and I told Taylor, I was like, I think I just don't like spooky books, which is like a really problem because we're talking about spooky book. He's like, no, you just don't like that one. But anyway, we let the best for last. So do you want to start us out? This is like another category. I had no idea where to put this book.
So for our last one, we have Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell. Is that how you say her name? Okay.
Rainbow.
So Rainbow Rowell it looks, yes, the author. Faith Erin Hicks is the illustrator. This is a graphic novel and it is like set on, is it on Halloween? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's these two people that it's like their last day working at this
It's their
pumpkin,
senior year.
yeah, senior year, and like they always work at this pumpkin patch every single like Halloween season. And so they always work there doing different jobs, and like it is just so fully immersive of everything fall with the pumpkin patch. So you have the kettle corn area, you have the corn maze, they have the candy apples. I'm trying to think of like everything. They have like it's just every single setting that you could think of that is related to like fall and like pumpkin patch type thing. And so I'm trying to think of how do you even describe it?
I think so. I told my coworker about this. I tell everybody about this book, everybody. And like, yeah, it's the two teenage, I say kids, they're teenagers, but
Deja and Josiah.
yeah, it's their senior year, and this is what the job they do for like the fall. It's kind of weird. But that's what they do in the fall. They work at this not pumpkin patch. It's like it is pumpkin patch, but it's like a
Yeah,
fall
pumpkin patch
basically like
and
an amusement
it
park.
says
That's what it feels.
the best pumpkin patch in the world in Omaha, Nebraska. They are
Okay.
reunited every September 1st. I'm just reading the whole synopsis. This Halloween is different. Josiah and Deja are finally seniors, and this is their last season at the pumpkin patch. This is their last shift together, their last goodbye. Josiah is ready to spend the whole night feeling melancholy about it, and Deja isn't ready to let him. She has a plan. What if, instead of moping at the usual slinging lima beans down at the Succotash hut, they went out with a bang instead? They could see all the sights, taste all the snacks, and Josiah could finally talk to the cute girl he's been mooning over for 3 years. What if their last shift was an adventure instead? Yeah, that did better than I would have done.
I told my coworker it's like this girl. The whole point is she wants. It's her last night there working there, and she's like, her goal is to eat every single thing in that, like try every single food stand there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it's all that you want every fall. Like they have like the apple cider slushes that she wants to try. They have the Frito chili pie stand. They
Mm-hmm.
have the like cheesecake like dipped or something like that. Dipped cheesecake.
Mm-hmm.
They have funnel cakes. They have roasted corn. They have popcorn. They have donuts. They have s'mores stations. And
Yeah.
like Hannah said, they have go-karts and pumpkin patches and hay rides. They go through all like their different things. But I will say the illustrations, they're so good. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're so good. This is written for kids, I guess, or teens. I don't know. Teens, it's a YA. But like I am in my 30s. I told I bought this book and I've read it 3 times now, and I'm going to read it for the fourth time this October. I'm just waiting for the first like cold day. I think it takes me about an hour to read it through. Do you
And
think?
there's like, yeah, I mean, I know I've read it like, yeah, you can read it in a day. It's not much. It goes really fast. But there's even like the map. There's like a full map drawn out of this whole layout of
Yeah, it's perfect.
the
Like I would want
park.
this for my house for the fall season. Like
Yeah.
it is the cutest. I don't know how to describe it to you. Like the plot is like I told you, the whole point is she wants to try every food in this pumpkin patch. Oh, and then there's this girl Josiah likes, and she's like, "We're gonna make sure you ask this girl out at the end of it." And they're trying to find this girl. So they're like,
Mm-hmm.
meanwhile, trying every food stand and then going to every like amusement thing, trying to find this girl,
Yeah.
so he can ask her out. But that's kind of it. That's the whole plot. But it's like definitely all the scenery that we see, like the illustrations are so good, and then you see it and you're like, wow, I wish I could go to this place. Like I wish there was a book like this about Christmas. I've been waiting for
Yes.
there to be something
Me
because
too.
they reference it. I've thought about emailing the author and being like, "Hi, this book you wrote 5 years ago.
You're like, I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah, I am. I'm obsessed with this book. Have you written the Christmas one yet?"
I know. I
But
want the Christmas one.
so that's
And
my goal, is to get one
yeah.
one person from this podcast to
And I
try
always
this book.
like I post about this book on my Instagram every single like week of Halloween. And I'm always like, "Oh, no, maybe I won't because I feel like everybody's already read it." And then I'm like,
No.
actually, I don't think that people have or like I
I think
don't
they
think
think it's dumb because
yeah,
it's a graphic novel.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, you just need to do it. I think it's so cute. And I do own this. I don't buy a lot of books. I would say I don't buy a lot and I don't keep a lot of books. Like if I don't love it, it's not gonna stay. And this one, I bought it because I was like, I know I'm gonna wanna like hold it and see it. I sound so weird. I'm like, my precious. Hold it and like read it and like read it again like multiple times. So yeah, Pango. I'm like, check Pango. I found
Yes.
mine on there.
Yes, I think I did too, and I think I paid like $1,
Yeah.
maybe. So, and it was, I'm like, worth every penny. Yes. So if I get one person to check this book out, I will be happy. This spooky Rex will have been worth it. Okay, so one thing I was gonna say, I don't want to like recommend these because I haven't read them yet, but because we're approaching October, I want to let you guys know things that are on my list to read, hopefully, and so things maybe you can be aware of and check them out for yourself. One is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. I think I mentioned that before in another episode. I bought this book. I don't think it's going to be anything groundbreaking, but I'm going to be honest. I've read some stressful books lately, and then if I can't fall asleep, I just open the Pumpkin Spice Cafe and read a few pages, and I'm out because nothing really that important is happening. But it seems really cute. It seems cute. Like it's about like it seems like a little small town, all decorated for fall. Like,
Yeah.
and that's it. And that one's on my list. And then Twilight is on my list. I'm
Yeah, me
going to
too.
reread the first one. I don't know if anyone wants to hear us talk about Twilight, the
I'm
first,
like,
but I'm
we'll do it anyway.
too bad if you don't. Yeah, I'm like, well, that's too damn bad.
Somebody I follow, she posted that recently that she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a reread, and if anyone wants to do a buddy read." She had like a poll if anyone is interested, and I was like, "Me," because I plan to read it coming soon too.
I have
So,
been wanting to because I went to Forks last year and I've been wanting to reread it since then. So I am starting that.
oh, what
And
else is on
then
your list?
um what else did I have? I had another book and now it's on my fireplace and I don't have it with me. Um hang on. I'm gonna get it so I'm not like, I don't know.
While Hillary goes to get that, I'll be honest, I'm not like last year I read so many Halloween books and like spooky books, not spooky, spooky romance, okay, rom-coms. And this year I don't know. I'm like, I've been reading summer books and that's cool. And then my brain is already switching to Christmas mode. So I'm already there. Like I have a whole list on my phone I started making today of the Christmas books that I want to read. And I told Hillary, I'm like, I have a whole list already. And this is not even including like the Christmas books that are probably going to still be announced because we haven't quite hit that season. Hillary's back. I'm talking about
Yeah, like I hate that girl so much.
I'm talking about how I have not really done a whole lot of spooky reads this year because my brain went from summer to Christmas and how I'm
Yeah.
like fully in Christmas brain right now. But
I
okay, let's
know.
go back.
We have to be like that. I'm like, think about it, Hannah. In 4 weeks in this podcast world, it'll be November.
Hmm. Like, no,
Okay,
no, no, we don't talk about Bruno.
the next one I want to read is The Wedding Witch, like Hannah said she did too. Erin Sterling.
Oh, yeah.
That's one. It looks like it's like Hannah said, a combination of I'm trying to see exactly what they say. I don't see the word Christmas, but it definitely like the cover looks like Christmas. So it comes out in October, but it looks like a witchy Christmas book. I don't know. If anyone can make it work, I think Erin Sterling can. That's on my list to read. And then what else? I have this one. This is a random book. I bought it at Barnes & Noble a year ago. Taylor and I were just walking around, and I was like, I'm going to buy something. And of all the things I bought, this is the only, I think this shows how much like TikTok and Instagram they've influenced bookstores, because this may have been a year or two ago. I couldn't find anything. I was like, I want something Halloween. And I couldn't find anything. See, I'm like, where was Don't You Two Read podcast when I needed it? Because I couldn't find anything. I had no idea. I got this book. Look at the cover. Death
Oh,
of a
yeah.
Wicked Witch. And it's this cozy mystery. It's one of the only things I found. And it's like this little town, of course, and a food truck. And they just have like some pumpkins out there and a little dog dressed up as a witch. But it's just a cozy mystery. And yeah, I want to read it this year. And then that's basically it. Obviously, I always have books on my TBR. I already know everyone's like adding this to Hillary's short list. So
These don't count.
I'm like, here we go. People are like, just add it to the judgment.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, do you have any or no? None, because you're just Christmas.
No, that's what I was saying when you were gone. I was like, I mean, other than Twilight, I do plan to read, and then Pumpkinheads, I plan to read again, which both of those are agains. And then what was I want? I want to read the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, because I've been in a cycle of reading book 1 and 2 to my 5-year-old. Like, he is obsessed, but he's not ready for the third. I think he is, but that was just the general rule. He has to wait until he's 6 years old. Go ahead, sue me, people. I'm trying to not give him nightmares. But the point is we've been cycling through book 1 and 2, and I am like, I want to go on to the third. Like, I'm desperate to read the third. And so I feel like I need to just make it happen. And yeah, I think that'd be great for this time of year. So, yeah. But other than that, no, I am literally in Christmas mode, and I'm probably going to start reading. And I won't bring them to the podcast until it's time, like appropriate time for everybody. I mean, it's probably going to be early for some people, but appropriate time in general. But I'm going to
November.
start reading them because I have so many that I want to read this year.
Like, anyway, goodbye.
Yeah.
That's going to be the end of every episode. All right, goodbye.
I mean, it's on our outro, but I'm going to say it. If you're still here, I need to get better about saying it earlier in the episode. We would love it if you would rate and review the podcast. I don't really know much about what it does, but I think it gives us a little boost on our.
If you could not rate us 1 star, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
if you hate it, then just don't. Turn around. If you hate it, then I don't know why
Turn around, don't drown.
But if you love it, then yeah, 5-star, share it with your friends, all the things. That's it. Bye. If you've made it this far and didn't add this episode to your DNF pile, thanks a bunch. That brings us to the end of this week's episode for the Don't You Two Read podcast. We hope you enjoyed hearing about our recently read books and hopefully getting to know us better as we begin this podcast journey with you guys. We will be including timestamps in the description on every episode so you can check there for books or products that we mentioned in today's episode. Be sure to tune in to our next episode when we will be chatting about all things books. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Don't You Two Read Podcast, and you can find me at Hannah Reads. And I'm at Hilary Reads. If you enjoyed today's episode, would you take a moment to follow us? You can also rate and review us wherever you listen. And as always, please share this with all of your bookish friends. Thank you so much for joining us today. Until next time, we hope you have a magical week filled with 5-star reads.